Today, I want to get into Jung Kook saying that he is scared to leave JHope and what happened there, JHope enlisting and his message possibly getting Jung Kook emotional, and then we have the stock changing recently over Jimin. So hey Dumplings, it's Dave Desai. Hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Grab your dumplings, he's spilling mug merch, and let's go. First off, we need to talk about Jimin, but before we do, I need to get into some backstory on everything going on. Back when BTS announced that they will be taking a break as a group, one of the main concerns for investors was that HYBE and Big Hit were going to go under. HYBE had been preparing for many years now to try to diversify their portfolio by making sure they have artists that perform or contribute to the company in a major way, similar to how BTS did for many years. After HYBE began taking over and buying over companies and bringing in other artists, they were able to rely slightly less on BTS and more on the other artists, such artists as Blackpink, Justin Bieber, or Ariana Grande, and then newer artists like TXT and Hypen and New Jeans. Many investors were scared that since BTS would be enlisting, that even with all these artists joining, they won't make the same impact BTS did. And so many investors decided that it wouldn't be as smart to invest in HYBE once BTS announced their break. However, I think recently we are starting to see that, of course, BTS would have the biggest impact on HYBE and their stock. The individual members actually have a very big impact on the label as well. Jimin recently started to do his solo work, and we got to see the effects he had on everything. Jimin started to debut in the US, and he made a huge splash into the US market. Appearances like on the Jimmy Fallon show and many of his live performances all contributed to what ended up being a huge #1 on Billboard. In order to get a #1 on Billboard, your song must be within the US market, because if the songs are only on Korean streaming sites, then Billboard has no way to count those streams or sales to determine if the song would be eligible for a #1 on Billboard. And if you are not aware, a huge determinant in why a lot of investors wanted to invest in BTS was their ability to get #1 on Billboard or become Grammy nominated. So this was a big deal for Jimin to do it all on his own. It was reported soon after the song Like Crazy dropped that the label's stock actually increased about 15%, because of course, Like Crazy is such a bop and the song is so good. If you want to join our small community on Patreon to react to Like Crazy and some songs on the album, I'll link all that in the description. We're always geeking out and having a blast over there. We have a $1 tier with limited spots. Hope to see you there. If you are unaware what this means, simply breaking it down in the most simplest terms, there is just higher demand for that specific stock. More people want to invest after seeing the success of Jimin. There's many other reasons that drive stock prices up, by the way. Such things are economic conditions or company performance, and even something like investor predictions can lead to a stock price going up, which is possibly what happened here with the Jimin thing. When investors know that Jimin's success is happening, they will most likely turn to the label and try to invest to get a piece of the pie. Just to clarify, I tried to simplify this stuff so it doesn't get too boring and it doesn't get too complicated. It is a lot more than what I just said. And if you are looking to invest in the label, please do your own research, as this is not financial advice. And also, if Jimin did not perform well, simply people just believed that Jimin would perform well, and then mass buying the stock would increase the price of the stock because the demand just went up, even if there's no evidence to back it up. But in this case, there was evidence and the stock increased because his performance. This all comes at a good time, as I'm sure investors were feeling a bit weary about JHope's enlistment. So Jimin doing his solo stuff and doing it very well would probably bring a lot of investors back into HYBE's stock. JHope recently announced his enlistment and he is now officially going. Recently he posted a photo of his hair completely shaved, and it looks like he would not be going with just a shorter style but a completely buzzed head of hair. And he looks great. He went to the ceremony and all of the other BTS members appeared there as well. They made sure to make their appearance today and show love. They also made sure to follow this tradition of rubbing the bald head before JHope goes. People thought it was very cute and fun, and that even Jin made sure to appear and welcome JHope into the camp. It seemed like they allowed Jin to take a day off to be a part of the ceremony with JHope and the rest of the boys. People were praising Jung Kook a lot because it seemed like he did a lot to be there. If you are unaware, Jung Kook is currently the ambassador of Calvin Klein. He is also working on his solo album, and he was currently in the US, believed to be in the studio with several American producers and even working with Justin Bieber. This is all just a rumor right now, but feels totally likely. It was then reported of something that was absolutely so cute. JHope recently went on a live stream right before the enlistment, and he talked about how Jung Kook actually had a very full schedule. He was supposed to do a bunch of stuff, and I presume a lot of it was not anything like TV appearances or things like that, because you can't really move those things around. But Jung Kook made a point to cancel everything and show up at JHope's send-off ceremony and wish JHope off. This made a lot of ARMYs extremely emotional, and I think there's still a big part of ARMY that believes the hiatus is not really a hiatus but a disbandment because the members don't like each other. But this is simply not true, and he is the evidence. People were then bringing up a lot of older moments that ended up going viral. They brought up moments where Jung Kook was crying when JHope left or was holding on to JHope so he couldn't leave. There was even a video that was posted a while ago where the members were talking about the time when Jung Kook was crying over the idea of JHope leaving. And I would agree with this sentiment. If any of the boys decided to leave, it would only be one step away from the other boys leaving or something like that happening. If you ever tried to create something creative with one of your friends and you were more into it than they were, you'll notice that when they decide to quit and not to do it anymore, it feels like a piece of the dream died. Not just the dream team, but the entire dream. Because the dream itself included this other person that could potentially no longer be there anymore. So going back, people think that Jung Kook reacting the way he did in the past was a way to show that Jung Kook is scared to leave JHope by himself. Other people went a step further to talk more about JHope at the camp and the photos that we saw of him there. BTS's official Twitter account made sure to post 2 photos of JHope at the camp with his head shaved, and then RM and Jin made sure to post some stuff as well to wish JHope goodbye. It's believed that there will be a video of each member entering the military, and the ceremony will be posted. It's usually posted as a Bangtan Bomb episode, and when Jin went, we got to see the entire thing. The in-house HYBE documentary or news team probably recorded everything, and Bangtan Bomb episodes were meant to be a behind-the-scenes thing that shows the boys very candid and raw right before a big event. This is also a good way to thank the ARMYs that decided to not show up and respect the members' privacy. So the label releases the video as a way to still allow everyone to see the ceremony. People believe that Jung Kook was probably the member that would take the news of JHope enlisting the hardest. It's believed that he has been showing the most emotion involving the members enlisting by crying on a live stream alone and by allegedly crying during the Jin enlistment ceremony. But a lot of those things are simply speculation because Jung Kook said during the live stream where he was alone and crying that the tears were mostly due to his cold and not anything particular. If the members were to come out and cry because the other members is leaving, I highly doubt that this would be a controversial thing either, but I just don't think the boys are super emotional about it because it's not a death sentence, and before you know it, they'll all be out. I'm sure Jung Kook and the remaining members who have not had a solo are excited to explore that a bit more before BTS comes back together again. This is their only chance to finally discover who they are as people and what it is they want to do. This is not to say that Jung Kook would be sad and cry alone later about this, but it's to say that this situation is very different from the previous situations in which JHope may have been planning to leave. JHope planning to leave while BTS is doing their thing is a sign that the group will have to prematurely end. While JHope leaving now, as everyone is doing their solo thing, is not a premature leave and ends up being an opportunity for Jung Kook to explore his style and what he wants to represent, I think overall we should be excited that the boys are going. And I've said this numerous times before, I don't really think we would notice them gone too much. We might not see them do any live performances, shows, or anything like that, but even with Jin gone, have we really seen him post a lot less than normal? No, he's still posting and giving us updates. Actually, when Jin posted the JHope enlistment picture, he left us a message to say next person. He did this as a funny joke and to make light of the moment. It's not as dark and gloom and doom as we may think the service is. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Thank you so much. Leave a comment right here. Love you. Bye.